Hello, friends, and welcome to HitBullsEye. My name is Manish, and I'm back with your weekly dose of current affairs. That is, Bulldoze for the third week of February 2023. Let's take a look at the important events that have happened during this week. Starting with the first one, Bollywood actor Ayushmann Khurrana was in news last week. Now, the reason is not that some of his movies are releasing or something like that. Why would we discuss it in the current affairs? The reason is that he has been given an important responsibility in an international organization. Because these actors are quite popular, so some of the international organizations who are working for socio-economic causes, they hire these famous people, maybe Bollywood stars, Hollywood stars, sports persons, to promote certain specific agenda. So we will see what Mr. Khurana has been chosen for. Next, European Union has formally banned gas diesel vehicle sales from 2035. You know, now this year may not make sense because अभी 12 साल पड़े हैं 2035 को. So we will see कि ये long term agenda क्या है और 2035 basically set करने का logic क्या है. Next, Global Hackathon Harbinger 2023. So this is a hacking workshop organized by the Reserve Bank of India to promote resilience and to promote, let's say, cyber security concept, especially with regard to financial technology companies. Next is a drone system that India has acquired, and India has become the first country to have an operational swarm drone system. Now, this might sound very overwhelming that India has a first in some defense technology, whereas we have some other countries like USA, China, Russia, etc., who are the pioneers in defense technology. So we will see what is a swarm drone system and how has India come to be the first occupant of this system in the world. नेक्स्ट ललिता लाजमी. ललिता लाजमी एक बॉलीवुड एक्टर थी और she has died recently, so we will see who she was and some of her important achievements. Next, so UPI has become such an important feature of Indians' day-to-day lives, and it is expanding, and it might be, India's big contribution to the world, which India has been trying to, do for almost 40 to 50 years now, something that is originated in India and is having an impact all over the world. UPI could be that thing. So, first bank to launch UPI Lite. UPI Lite. So, we will see what is UPI Lite and which bank has launched it for the first time. Next, Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is a US citizen and she has launched 2024 presidential bid. She's from Republican Party and the same party to which Mr. Trump belonged, but now she has decided to run for the presidential bid next year. Solar powered drone Suraj has been unveiled, another news from defense as well as from technology. Cheetah reintroduction program. We have already discussed about Cheetah reintroduction almost a few months back, but now more cheetahs have been relocated into India. We will see where they come from and some more important features about the cheetah. Neil Mohan, another Indian on a globally famous company, perhaps the same company on which you are watching this video right now. YouTube it is. So YouTube's new CEO is Mr. Neil Mohan, who is an Indian origin person. So we will see about him. And finally, Unique Identification Authority of India, the body that is responsible for Aadhaar cards, has launched an AI chatbot named Aadhaar Mitra. It's artificial intelligence based chatbot, Aadhaar Mitra. So let's take a look. I don't know if it's only me, but we are seeing a kind of transition in the news that we do. I've always been saying uh, since when we are doing these videos for almost 1 year now, that there are two broad themes which are new into the arena of general knowledge and which are here to stay and for the better. The first is the infusion of new technologies into every arena of our life, be it artificial intelligence, be it drones, be it let's say Internet of Things, Web of Things, cryptocurrency. There are so many news coming about this. So one is the way technology has been penetrating each and every area of our lives. Let us assume it is for the good. The second important theme is what we are doing for reversing or for stopping climate change. Like this news that European Union has banned gas diesel cars from 2035. So we are around these two themes getting a lot of and for the better, and has acted in a lot of Bollywood movies. So he will represent UNICEF, United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, or simply also called United Nations Children's Fund. He has become National Ambassador of UNICEF. So Mr. Ayushman Khurrana has been appointed as the National Ambassador of UNICEF by UNICEF. So he will work with UNICEF to guarantee every child's rights to life, health, and protection while also fostering their voice agency in matters that affect them. So he'll be working for child rights, being a national ambassador of UNICEF. And 2020 से पहले, prior to 2020, he has worked as a celebrity advocate for UNICEF India to stop violence against children. Right? So this is the social cause he's going to be in. UNICEF से ही सचिन तेंदुलकर भी जुड़े हुए हैं. Right? So it's an organization of the United Nations tasked with humanitarian and developmental aid to children all over the world. Its executive director right now is Ms. Catherine Russell. Its headquarters are in New York, United States, and it was founded in 1946, just a year after United Nations came into being. And this UNICEF is a specialized agency of UN. So that is about it. Next is European Union has banned or has decided to ban gas and diesel car sales from 2035. Now think of it that way. If a country or if a particular administration is clear that they want to become carbon neutral, or they want to go to zero pollution by 2050, which is quite a long horizon, 30 years is a long period of time, they have to start acting now, because it cannot be a knee jerk reaction. It has to be done in a gradual manner. Like if you think of it in this way, that in India, usually the diesel vehicles have a life of 10 years and the petrol vehicles have a life of 15 years. Of course, people keep extending that, but if a legislation or a rule comes to that effect, then that extension of registration of these vehicles can be stopped as well. This is what they are doing in European Union. So what they're doing is they are saying that no new cars will be sold from 2035, right? That means for the next 12 years, they will be sold. Because if they say that you stop selling petrol and diesel cars right now, it will impact the industry so much, because automobile industry is a major chunk of GDP of any country, especially of these European countries where, which are developed ones. So they are giving this 12 to 13 years of time period to the people that they can still buy these cars. And if they buy the cars, let's say in 2035, which is the last year when these cars will be sold, which are on petrol and diesel, then their life will be further for 10 to 15 years, right? So that means the last new cars that have been bought in 2035 will lose their registration maximum by 2050. That means, so what will fulfill the demand of cars during this period of time, like starting now itself, because there are many people who are keen on extending the registration time and again, so they will stop buying diesel and petrol cars right now. They might switch to electric vehicles, for which all the European Union countries are providing a lot of incentives. So that is the reason. So the cars are not going to be banned, gas and diesel cars are going to be banned, right? That means electric vehicles are expected to replace gas and diesel cars. That is the long-term agenda. Logically, if we think of it that way, then all countries should start doing that. All the countries should have a timeline of, maybe 10 to 15 years down the line, or maybe 20 years down the line. Like India should also say that, let's say by 2040 or 2045, because we are a developing country and we have a carbon neutral target up to 2070. So I think ideally we should also say that in the next 15 to 20 years, we might also stop, uh, the sales of new vehicles which run on fossil fuels. But we have a different scenario, not to compare, but it's just that European Union has announced this, and there are a total of 27 countries in the European Union. That means all these countries are going to ban it, and these countries include Spain, France, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, Italy, Poland, Lithuania, Czech Republic, Romania, almost the entire Europe, right? So these countries are going to ban it, and this is a really good signal that we are actually making considerable we are actually taking considerable steps towards reversing climate change. And vehicular emissions is a major chunk of that. It's not that if we do this, the climate change will be reversed, but vehicular emissions is one part of it. Then energy emissions is another part of it. Then fossil fuel industry is another part of it. So slowly and slowly we have to attack all of these if we actually want to do meaningful reversal of climate change. And this, the steps like this really reaffirm these nations' commitment towards these goals. And European Union has a goal of becoming carbon neutral by 2050. So this will help in that. Three. So Reserve Bank of India, does this hackathon, and the theme for this year is inclusive digital services. See, basically, hackathon is a workshop which encourages hacking. It might sound odd that why is Reserve Bank encouraging hacking, but it is actually ethical hacking. So they actually invite hackers to hack into specific systems and then to tell the authorities how they were able to do it. It's like you're asking a thief to steal into your let's say your safe vault, to open your vault, you know to see how he can steal your valuables. And once he does it, once he opens your safe, then you pay that person, or you reward him for telling him the loopholes in your safe house, something like that. So similarly, ethical hackers, they try their best to hack into a system of RBI, and once they're able to do it, they're rewarded by the Reserve Bank of India. And at the same time, those hackers inform the RBI about how they were able to do it, and then RBI fixes that loophole. That is what the entire process is about. This is called ethical hacking, and for this, RBI organizes a hackathon every year. So this year, its name is Harbinger 2023. So fintechs or financial technology companies have been invited to develop solutions that have the potential to make digital financial services accessible to the differently abled, to facilitate efficient compliance, extend the reach of central bank currencies. So that is not the only reason. Like ethical hacking is not the only reason. There can be experts who will also give solutions to various problems, not only hacking. Let's say how we can make the system more differently abled friendly, how can we facilitate efficient compliance. And for this, people can come up with software solutions or some other logistical solutions, right? Industry experts will be there, innovative solutions will be drawn, which will then be rewarded adequately and then will be implemented across the system. So the idea is, because not every single, but a large number of transactions these days are done online. So it has become a really, really important area to focus on. And that is why RBI has been conducting these workshops. Swarm drone system. Swarm drone system. So we understand what a drone is, a small flying object. Imagine if we send one drone into enemy's territory, there's a very high likelihood of that drone being shot down. And whatever agenda we had, whether it is of surveillance or attack or something like that, it might be prejudiced. It might be compromised. But what if we send 100 drones together? That is a swarm. So a swarm drone is sending a lot of drones together, then they still accomplish whatever they were sent there for. So that is what it is. So New Space Research is a Bangalore-based startup on drones, and it has delivered swarm drones to Indian Army. There are so many startups in defense manufacturing and in space, like Agnikul, Cosmos, then we have Skyroot Aerospace, and now we have New Space Research. So they have delivered swarm drones to the Indian Army, and it makes Indian Army the first major armed force in the world to operationalize these high density swarm drones. High density, that means there are hundreds of them. So this is world's first operational high density swarming unmanned aerial system, right? So a swarm of 100 drones is capable of hitting targets at least 50 kilometers away into enemy territory. And these drones are capable of carrying bombs of a particular weight and can home on into a target, like moving armored columns, artillery positions, and infantry bunkers and attack. So they can have any kind of formation. It can be vertical, it can be horizontal. They can act like artillery positions, they can act like infantry. That's beautiful. I mean, it's like flying people. These drones are like flying infantry, you can say, with which are armed. So these are the solution for a closely contested airspace where individual drones can be taken down. But a swarm of drones, how many will you take down? Still there would be more than enough to inflict a damage and come back. And there is no need of coming back also. They can very well shot down the drones. What would be the point? There is no one in it. It's like and the cost also is not very high. So this is how the new warfare is going to be, perhaps. Lalita Lajmi. So just look at this picture if you are able to recognize. She was there in the movie Tare Zameen Par as well. She was shown as one of the teachers of the school in which Amir Khan teaches, Lalita Lajmi. And to many who do not know, she was the sister of iconic filmmaker Gurudas. That's a revelation. It was a revelation to me. So she was a painter and late filmmaker Gurudas' sister. She has passed away, and she was a self-taught artist, keen interest in classical dance, painting, and her exhibitions have been held in London, Paris, and Holland. She also featured in Amir Khan's film Tare Zameen Par, and her daughter Kalpana Lajmi is also an Indian filmmaker. So she has passed away, right? That is all about it. First bank to launch UPI Lite feature is Paytm Payments Bank. Paytm Payments Bank. What is UPI Lite? UPI Lite. Lite usually means uh, it's a sort of a system where less specifications are required, which is like a lighter system than what you like for example, we have a Facebook app, then we have a Facebook Lite, which requires less amount of RAM, less amount of technical specifications, but it still runs the application, maybe in a browser, or maybe it takes a lot of less amount of data and all those things. Similarly, UPI Lite has also been launched keeping in mind the small value of transactions. And you know not every single transaction needs to be there on your passbook. Let's say if you go to a vegetable vendor and you pay 20 rupees to the vegetable vendor, do you think that it should reflect in your passbook? It should not, because the the idea is to popularize UPI so much that there are billions of transactions. So if every person is doing hundreds of transactions every month, maybe is not expecting every single transaction, even it's a 5 rupees, on their passbook. So 200 rupees is a limit below which the transactions will not show in your physical passbook. Of course, you can have a statement which is a digital statement. You can always check it in your app also. So for that, a new app has been launched, and that is UPI Lite. It has been enabled by NPCI, National Payments Corporation of India, for small value UPI transactions, right? The purpose is to drive the adoption of digital payments across the country. There are so many people who are not using UPI because of the high specific technical specifications maybe. So the purpose is to make or to bring more people into the fold of UPI. So the small value transactions would now only show in the Paytm balance and history section and not in the bank passbook, right? They will not show in the bank passbook, just in the balance and history section. The users can carry out a large number of small value UPI payments in a super fast manner without worrying about cap on the number of bank transactions. Of course, this also is a thing that if you do beyond a certain limit of transactions, let's say you have a saving account in a bank, so they do not allow you to have, unlimited number of withdrawals or to have unlimited number of transactions. They charge you for that, but that discourages UPI. So that's why these small value transactions have been kept out. They will not be counted as transactions for the purpose of levying fees, and they will also encourage more and more use of these apps. So if we see, we talk about UPI Lite. So UPI Lite was launched, designed by National Payments Corporation of India, and was launched by RBI in September 2022. So it's been about 6 months when this was launched. And it is an instant real-time payment system developed by NPCI. So 50% UPI transactions are of less than 200 rupees. Can you believe that? 50% of the total UPI transactions, their value is less than 50 rupees. And it gives near offline payment experience because it becomes so fast and seamless, and it reduces load on the core banking system, CBS. So that means we are now distinguishing the core banking things and the low value transactions, which is really good. That then only we'll be able to scale up this thing. She is Miss Nikki Randhawa Halley. So Miss Nikki Halley is an Indian origin Republican Party leader. Republican Party leader. She has launched the bid for the President of United States 2024, when the tenure of current President Joe Biden is going to end. She is calling herself a young, fresh alternative to Donald Trump. So Donald Trump also is a Republican, and he's seeking to run again for the president for a second term. But she is going to be her contender in her own party. So in US, basically, in the end, there is one candidate each, one from Republican Party and one from the Democratic Party. But to become that candidate, everyone who announces that they are running for the president, they need to win the approval of the primaries and caucuses, the local electorate. And there are discussions, debates, and based on that, there is voting. Only then a person gets to become the official nominee for their own party. So if Mr. Trump also announces his candidature from the Republican Party, then it will be a contest between Mr. Trump and Miss Haley. So it remains to be seen whether she qualifies to get the final ticket. She was born in South Carolina, and she was raised as a Sikh, but she converted to Christianity after marriage. She has been a member of state legislature of South Carolina state, and she became the first woman to become the governor of South Carolina. So she has occupied two important positions. One is as a governor of South Carolina, and second, she has been US's permanent representative to the United Nations. These are the two important positions she has held in the past. There is also speculation that Mr. Bobby Piyush Jindal might also run for the president. If that happens, and if both of them get the tickets, then it might be a contest between two people of Indian origin. Of course, they are US citizens, but it's just that their parents were from Indian origin. So it might be interesting to see. Solar powered drone Suraj has been unveiled. So this has been launched by drone startup Garuda Aerospace, and it was at Aero India 2023, Bangalore. Bangalore, right? And so Suraj is an intelligent surveillance and reconnaissance high altitude drone designed for surveillance operations. Again, this is not like swarm drone. Swarm drone is a different concept, so many drones being sent at the same time. But this is like a standalone, simple, separate drone. And this will carry a versatile payload of high resolution zoom cameras. So its main purpose is reconnaissance, surveillance, and intelligence gathering. It's not an attack drone primarily, right? It has a maximum capacity of carrying 10 kg and cutting edge technology to capture, process, and transmit photos and videos in real time, ensuring that the headquarters and base have access to vitals before planning strategic operations. So all of you must have seen the movie Udi. So in that they use drones that look like birds, and they send it into the enemy territory to have a reconnaissance about the terrorist platforms that they want to destroy in the surgical strikes. I don't know if it happened exactly like that, but that is something that planning to do with this Suraj drone. High technology cameras that can relay high quality pictures and videos in real time, so that even if the drone is caught, whatever has been recorded till then is also on record. So live is a very important feature. It has an endurance of 12 hours and can fly at an altitude of 3,000 feet. That's a lot of capability. Cheetah reintroduction program. So last year, India got 8 cheetahs from Namibia. Now we have got another 12 cheetahs. That means taking the total number to 20. These 12 cheetahs have been brought from South Africa on 18th of February, and they have also been reintroduced in Kuno National Park, Madhya Pradesh. Right? Now, some important facts about cheetahs. Why are we bringing them from South Africa and Namibia? Because a majority of the world's 7,000 cheetahs, like more than 4,000 cheetahs, are found in 3 countries: South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana. Namibia has the world's largest population of cheetahs. Just like India has the world's largest population of tiger, they have the world's largest population of cheetahs. South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana. And according to the National Action Plan for Reintroduction of Cheetah, prepared by Wildlife Institute of India, WII, around 12 to 14 wild cheetahs are ideal for establishing a new cheetah population. So that means now perhaps we have a good number of cheetahs, and now repopulation can be done. It will take some time, but of course, we are on that track right now. Neil Mohan. So this is the man who has got another enviable position in a multinational corporation, and that too a very popular one, that is YouTube. So Mr. Neil Mohan has become the CEO of Alphabet-owned YouTube following Susan Wojcicki's announcement that she will be stepping down. So Mr. Neil Mohan is the new CEO of YouTube. So he will be joining the likes of Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, Arvind Krishna, and Shantanu Narayan, who are heading global multinational corporations. So Mr. Mohan holds a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from Stanford University and MBA also from the Stanford Graduate School of Business. So quite a quite a impressive academic record he has. Of course, that's why he's in such a big company. So another Indian on the global business community list. Finally, UIDA. So the idea of this chatbot basically means it's a robot that will chat with you, sort of, right? It will help people get an answer to their queries related to Aadhaar card. Like like you must have visited various websites where there is an FAQ section, which is frequently asked questions. So there are questions and the answers to those questions. Chatbot is one step further. So in this, you get, when you visit the website, you get a chat like option like WhatsApp. So you put in your query that, let's say, where is the admission form, you question mark, and then you put that message forth. Then they will, within a second, they will reply with a URL, with a uniform resource locator, a link basically, which you can click and it will directly take you to the application form. Just an example. So chatbot has the capability to interact like a human being. That is what makes it really important. And that's why it is AI chatbot, artificial intelligence based chatbot. So the it has been designed in such a way that it can talk like a human being. So you just put your question, and if it does not understand, or maybe the question is too complicated, then it might redirect you somewhere. But in more than 90% of the cases, simple questions can be answered by an AI chatbot. So artificial intelligence and machine learning based chatbot it is, and it can answer queries related to Aadhaar enrollment number, PVC card order status, and complaint status, among other things. Let's say you say that I applied for Aadhaar card, but I have not got any. So then the next message would be, can you tell your application number? Then you put in your application number. Next thing is, he will tell you the status. The card is pending or it has been dispatched or something like that. That is the beauty of this. It will answer queries related to Aadhaar related topics, how to locate an Aadhaar center, check Aadhaar enrollment or update status, check card order status, file a complaint, check complaint status, locate enrollment center and book an appointment, all the basic things. So this is good. We are trying to make our websites more accessible, and we are trying to automate so many things to make them process driven, basically, right? So that is about it for the third week of February. There were a lot of interesting things that happened. The nature of news has been changing. We do not have the usual boring news that used to come till a few years back. We have new, fresh news about technology, about climate change, about AI chatbots and things like that. This is really refreshing also, and we can just sincerely hope that this technology is taking us in a good direction and not in in a bad direction. So that is all for this week. Thank you so much. This is me, Manish Mittal, signing off. Take care.